My name is Juke, and the name of the business is Infuse Hub. It's a CIC, which is community interest. So basically, we cater for the people in the community, i.e., youth and even adults here. It's to do with film and sound engineering and just music studio, basically, and all that comes in between. On a day-to-day basis, we cater for people who are interested in music and media, i.e. Recording and filming and all sorts of podcasts and whatever it is that the interest is when it comes to media. My target audience is anybody who's having an interest in sound and movement and film. My business journey started from an early age of just basically growing up around music. And from probably the ages of 9, I just started mimicking my siblings who was musicians, i.e. drums and trumpets, horns and stuff. So I started basically having an interest in that. And then I moved over to actually being in a band and playing in a band. And then from there, writing my own songs and then going into recording them. So it basically started in London when I was basically performing for like different audiences and then going into the studio and recording. So it just stemmed from there. And from that point, I formed a band with a few people, and then from there got signed up to a label. It was basically an independent label at first, and then from there major label, and then I started writing and producing for a major label, and then it led me, after I finished doing that, I then started setting up on my own. Well, my own production company. I wouldn't call it a label, but basically that would probably be the future. My coping mechanisms basically is to just take one day at a time, to be quite honest. And my day starts, well, sometimes it starts very early, like 7 o'clock, and sometimes it starts. The basic day is probably 11 till 6, where I work on stuff that I've got on my rota to do. But obviously, in the studio, it starts at different times whenever clients are ready to work. So it could be a 24-hour day. Like sometimes it has been like 2 days in a row. Sometimes sleepover, all of them sort of things. But the young people, when they're basically in that zone, you don't want to break it up. Okay, in the past, I've worked with probably an extensive list of artists. Mainly when I was working for Warner Brothers, I was working for groups like Lighthouse Family. I worked with Tunde, writing his last on his last Greatest Hits project, and Beverley Knight as well. I mean, when she first started out, basically she was in the band that I was in. I auditioned her, and then I found she was, brilliant vocals. So basically, we did an album, but it was for another band called Diplomats, which I was in at an early age. And whilst working for the labels, I worked with Bunton from Spice Girls, and just MJ Cole, Artful Dodger on like mixes. A local artist, what's the name? Oh, sorry. Angel Lee was the local artist that I think it was 1999 back then, where we did an album, and she was my first artist on Warner's. And the first single went gold, and then from there I just started to work with other artists. But it was mainly pop stuff. I mean, last year I worked on, I think, 4 albums last year, some up-and-coming artists coming out. I just finished doing a project called Juke Collective, which is working with artists from over the year, 2 years, that I thought was, excellent. So I put a collective together, and I just finished that, and we're just working on videos and stuff like that. Last year I worked with a young guy called Alvin, young singer. He was really inspiring, and a few other artists as well, which probably later on in the year you'll probably see a little bit of. I mean, so far we've only been in business about 2 years, and the first year was building. We had to build up. So at the moment, probably next year you'll see a lot more coming out of Infuse Hub. The Black Pound is important. I think awareness is important. Understanding that the Black Pound is powerful, but if it's not used in the right way, we're not going to do any benefits from it, because it's all about keeping the pound in our community, because you build economics well when you keep your pound in amongst your people. For instance, what we seem to do is when we get paid, we then go to Nike and Versace and Adidas and all the other labels that we have, who don't really work with us as a community, and we give them the money, where we should be looking into our own people and putting money into ourselves so that the pound stays amongst us. All the other communities, basically, their pound works for them. Ours don't, because we're buyers. We aren't selling nothing. They're selling to each other too. So as soon as we start realizing the power of our pound and keeping it in our community, then we'll understand growth. Advice to someone who wants to get into production. Basically, believe in yourself, and all the stuff that you're doing that you think, well, it's not so good, don't give up on that, because it all comes with learning and experience. So your first little bits that you do that you think nobody wouldn't listen to, that might be the pinnacle of where you can get to. Infuse CIC Studios is in Jewelry Quarter. It's a 10 Warstone Parade East, and we've got a variety of equipment there for producing and for filming, and even backdrops for like fashion shows and such forth. So you're welcome. Opening hours is 24 hours a day. So yeah, you can come down anytime, but just got to book an appointment. So if you book an appointment, no matter what time, we should be able to sort something out. You can find me on social media. On Instagram would be Infuse Hub, CIC, and on Facebook the same, and all the platforms, I guess.